Near the beginning of time, in a parallel universe, Ma'teth was born. From the fire of life and remnants of failed universes. This demon consumed worlds, growing with every soul, enslaving them within, adding to his army of soul projections. Planet after planet, Ma'teth absorbed populations, laying waste as his army of him were just unstoppable. Until the Velens. The Velens are a peaceful and enlightened society. They thrive off of their advancements, combining biology and technology. The scientists discovered a cure for cramps by combining the planetary matter of crystals with joy, a non-psychoactive version of the medicine Sweet Joy. The Velen elders were so impressed, they ordered it put into the water system. All Velens drank the crystal joy. The men became calm from their frustrations, while it eased the cramps of the women. However, many women were inflicted with raging pain from the infusion of crystal joy in negative polarity, causing consciousness to the uterus, resulting in maddening pain. The Velens were now aware that Ma'teth was on a path towards them while battling civil unrest, as the women with the deformities became psychopathic and delusional. They were compelled to their steered desire. Fighting these urges caused the madness to increase rapidly, and they began murdering randomly. In their experimentation, the scientists discovered, by uniting 11 crystals, a reality of a steered desire could be created. Now, the Velens were fighting Velens for crystal uteruses. Meanwhile, Ma'teth got stronger and closer to the Velen system. 100 years pass before a girl named Vela Bravado decided she was tired of the violence and war. She decided to leave the planet and act out her steered desire. Vela tamed her uterus and became pain-free. The act had flipped the polarity of the crystal uterus. This discovery ended the war, and the Velens united once more to defeat Ma'teth. The scientists formulated a plan to obtain a device from the agricultural sector and weaponize it with crystal focus to trap Ma'teth in his own vanity, as the crystal weapon reflects Ma'teth and his army back at him. He would see his millions of trapped souls as one large reflection of himself, entrancing him as he professes himself a god, distracting him. Many of the agriculturalists advised against using this weapon as it would come back to haunt them. The scientists and the agriculturalists were banished to a planet with an inescapable atmosphere. The sky purple, the land gray. Over time, the interference of the women's crystals and the atmosphere turned their skin green. This horrified the women, and they blamed the men. The women then lured the men into a facility and killed them all, installed tech and built the robots, programmed to be the perfect man, as what the women believed a man should be. This was a mistake. The demon trap worked. Ma'teth was defeated, and his remains were now crystal dust in the atmosphere. Years passed, and the dust settled, causing more advancements in 1,000 years than most civilizations would. The now legend of Bravado states, coming of age, one must act out their steered desire to master and wield the crystal powers attached to the uterus. Meanwhile, the lowliest of creatures imaginable, in the form of sludge, falls into a stream where it sank to the bottom. Then something amazing happened. It opened its eyes. It grew arms and legs and swam up to the surface. This dead thud had landed on the crystalline dust of Malteth. The crystal dust absorbed into the thud, giving it the spark of life. As it leaves the water, he hears the sweetest of voices. The lovely lady Ashley Capavelorum, an upper Velen from a prominent family. Her song mesmerizes the thud, entrancing him. He approaches Ashley in an excited rage. When Ashley screams for her classmate Matthew, the thud believes she is calling it Matthew. He professes his love for her. I am Matthew. I love you. She screams, "Get away!" and narrowly escapes his grip. As Matthew the Thud senses danger, he flees to the stream where he sees his reflection, Malteth. Malteth knows he needs crystals in order to actuate a frequency where he can exist in the physical realm. He tells Matthew to get Ashley's crystal and more if he is to have her. The truth? Matthew will cease to be when Malteth gets his crystals. After years of pursuing Ashley, Matthew follows her and her best friend Vela to a far-off moon where he violently rips Ashley's crystal from her as she and Vela act out their steered desire. Vela grabs the thud as he's escaping, causing a reaction as her negatively infused crystal caused interference in Matthew's escape portal. A rip appears in the fabric of space-time, transporting Vela and Matthew to the land of Scarlet, while Ashley and Vela's conscious uterus, Brava, are now on the world of Jonathan. This is the chaos. That is the beginning of Jonathan and his stories.